Write the topic naming of aromatic compounds, or rather naming of benzene and benzene derivatives. Now, the format that we are using is known as SPUF, so substituent. Then you have parent, then you have unsaturation, and then you have functional group, right? SPUF. So in benzene structure, it is a bit easy. So for parent, unsaturation, and functional group, you can use benzene. You don't have to look anywhere. You can just use benzene. And if you talk about the substituent, then the substituent, whatever we have done, similar, same way we have to do the substituent, right? Right, as we learned earlier. Okay, so benzene and as we learned earlier. And slowly we'll add on some complexities here, but it is going to be the general rule, substituent and then the puff, that is benzene. So question number 1, for example, if I have something like this. So this is a benzene structure and it is having CH3. Now for puff, what we are going to write? Benzene. Okay. And then for the substituent, then what we can write? We can write methyl. So the name will be substituent and then puff, methyl benzene. Methyl benzene. Is this clear? Yes or no? Please tell me, guys, all of you.
Yes, sir.
No problem in this. Okay. Now you have to write, I mean, you have to add on some knowledge here. You can write this as methyl benzene, or there is a short name for the complete fragment used, CH3 with benzene. That is known as toluene. Okay, that is known as toluene. So you can use methyl benzene perfectly fine. There is no issue in that. But you can also use toluene, and many of the textbooks, they will use toluene. So you have to remember toluene also. Okay, but why you have to remember toluene? Because they will ask you what happens when toluene reacts with, let us suppose, Br2 in the presence of FeBr3. So you'll have to write the answer, and you should know what is toluene. But if they give you the structure and they ask you to name it, you can perfectly name it methyl benzene. No one is going to do it wrong. Okay, but you have to know, okay, fine, toluene is something which is having benzene and CH3. That fragment, complete thing is known as toluene. Now, after that, what you are going to see? You are going to see some names derived from toluene. That means the puff becomes toluene. What I mean to say is, please see. I have CH3 here. Okay. And then let us suppose I have a Br group here. Now, if I go with my conventional naming system that we have, it is puff will be benzene. There are two substituents. We have here methyl, and here we have bromo. So obviously, going by the alphabetical order, bromo will get the first number 1 and methyl will get the second number 2 methyl. And the name will become 1 bromo, 2 methyl, benzene. Now, what we have done here, we have taken benzene as the base, and then we looked for substituents. The other way of doing this is that using toluene as a base. What we can use? We can use toluene as a base. That means this fragment. Okay, so this fragment is toluene. So what I will write here? The puff will become toluene. And then the substituent, what substituent we have here? We have only bromine substituent left. So we'll write bromo. Now, when I talk about numbering, so toluene has methyl in the first carbon atom. Whenever we are choosing a base name which is having a particular substituent already attached, that substituent gets 1 number and the bromo will get the 2 numbers. So this will be 2 bromo toluene. All of you understood both the naming conventions? Yes or no? Please tell me, guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have a base benzene naming and then we have a base toluene naming if we have CS3 attached. Okay. Now you will also see many times that when you have two substituent on a benzene ring, then we use words like ortho, meta, and para. Okay. So rather than 2-bromotoluene, you will see many ways, many people writing it. In the books also, it will be written as O-bromotoluene. O-bromotoluene. Now let us understand this naming convention that is for ortho, meta, and para. Okay. So please, you will write the heading. Naming for di-substituted benzenes. Okay, so benzenes which are having two substituents. So this is the convention that we use only for when we have only two substituent. Okay, only two substituent. Now, please see, guys. When I talk about this now, so generally we have three different types of substitution that we can have: ortho, meta, and para. So, what is the meaning of all of these things? Please understand. What is ortho? Ortho means no carbon in between. Okay, that means the carbon which are having, there will be two substituent, and the carbon which are having two substituent, they will not have any carbon in between. Okay, they will not have any carbon in between. Examples would be what? Please see. A very conventional example is I have a group A here and the B here. Other examples would be I have group A here and B here. This is also ortho. Similarly, this is also ortho. This is also ortho. Can all of you see that? Yes or no? Please tell me that the carbons that have substituent, they have no carbon in between, right? Can all of you guys see that? Is the concept of ortho clear? Yes or no? Please tell me. What about others? Madiha,
Yes, sir.
Rabia? Clear now? Now, next we have meta. Meta will have one carbon in between. Okay, so examples would be a very conventional example is A here and in between a carbon atom and B here. Other examples could be something like this. A here in between and B here. You can also see something like this. A here and B here, one carbon in between. A here and B here, right? One carbon in between, right? Now, next we have para. Para is two carbon in betweens. Two carbons in between. So a perfectly conventional way of writing this is AB like this, but you can write it in two different more ways. A here and B here. There is no difference between, what I mean to say is all of these structures are same. There is no difference in all of these structures, even though they look very different. Okay, but there is no difference in these structures. You have A here and B here. I'll write this down and then do a question. Draw ortho, meta, and para substituted benzene with फॉलोइंग सब्स्टिट्यूएंट्स, ठीक है। पहले में आप लोग यूज कीजिएगा CH3 and OH. Secondly, you have to make only one ortho, one meta, and one para. Na? All of these are same structure. I hope you can understand. All of these are same structures. Secondly, you are going to make for, let us suppose you have OH and Br. 3, you are going to add the group CHO, and we will add, let us suppose what, CH3. We'll add the group COOH and Cl. We will add the group Br and Br. We will add the group. Okay, so these are the groups you have to attach. And then 6 structure, नहीं चलिए 5 इतना कीजिए आप लोग, 6 कर लीजिए क्योंकि पहला वाला तो हम कर देंगे ना. I will do the first one for you guys. You can attach NH2 and what else you can attach? Br3, Br. Okay. So for the first one, if you see, CH3 and OH, these are in ortho position. CH3OH, this is meta position. CH3OH, this is para position. Can all of you guys do that? Yes or no, please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Now give me 5 minutes, okay? I just have to do a blood test for my mother and I will be back, okay? Just give me 5 minutes. Once you're done, you will send the answers on my WhatsApp. And 5 minutes will be enough for you guys, I hope so. Yes. So guys, I'm back. Miriam Khatun has sent the answers. Yes, very good, Mariam. Everything looks fine. Very good. Just one thing you missed, that is the circle in the benzene ring should be present in the fifth structure for para. So look at the Br and Br, and the para position, you have to just add a circle. Everything else looks fine. Hafsa, Hafsa, you have missed all the circles inside the benzene ring. If you don't make the circle, it is not a benzene, it is a cyclohexane, and it will be completely wrong to write orthometa and para for those things. Okay, Hafsa, please make a habit that you will draw the circle as soon as you draw the hexagon. Okay, so you draw this hexagon, and as soon as you have drawn, you will add the circle here. Okay, that way you won't forget. Hafsa, you understood the mistake?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 1, 2, 3 looks fine. That's good. Orthometa para, orthometa para, orthometa para. It's very good. What about others? Madiha and Deborah. Saad. Okay, Saad is attending today's class. Rabia, not got answers from you guys. Okay, Madiha has sent now. Very good, Madiha. Okay. So I hope everything is easy right now. Okay. Now, as we saw that we have toluene, similar to toluene, we have a few others base names that we can have. Okay. So we saw a toluene as a base name. We can have some other structure also that is going to act as a base. Now, what are those structures that we can have? Please write. One is toluene that we have already seen. Another very useful one is phenol. By conventional naming, if I take the base as benzene, so puff will be benzene, and the substituent will be hydroxy. Okay, it will be hydroxybenzene. But if I take the base as phenol, this complete thing is also known as phenol. Or you can write Phenol. And phenol is only used here. Hydroxybenzene, no one writes hydroxybenzene. Okay. Secondly, you have to remember if you have NH2. Now, obviously, NH2 can be at any position. Okay. Doesn't mean that it has to be on that position. All the carbon atoms are same here. So NH2, it is aminobenzene, or you can write aniline. Okay, this is aniline. Next, we can write, you have OCH3. So this will be methoxybenzene, but it is also known as anisole. Is it anisole? Yeah. Then you can have benzene attached to CHO. This is easy. This is benzaldehyde. Then we have COOH. This is benzoic acid. Okay. So 3, 4, and 5. Now, second and third, these are a bit confusing. That's why I have written it here, aniline and anisole. And there is another one, sixth one you can write, acetophenone. You have C double bond O and CS3 attached here. This is acetophenone. Then everyone, yes or no, please tell me. All of you done writing? Yes, guys, tell me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. Now let us name a few using these base names and also ortho, meta, and para things. Okay. So, right. Name the following. Using O, M, and P. Okay. अच्छा, for example, these are the only names that you have to remember. Chloro के लिए chlorobenzene आप लिख दीजिएगा. Bromo के लिए dibromobenzene if you have 2 bromos, है ना? I will give those examples also. For example, you have number 1.
Sir, can you please hold up for a second?
Yes, sure.
Done, sir.
And just a reminder to all of you guys, please don't forget to add the circle inside the benzene ring. Okay. Okay. So for example, you have chlorine here and a chlorine here. So obviously these are in meta position, right? Sorry, para positions. So, and we don't have any base name in which chlorine is attached. That is why what we are going to write, we are just going to write it like this. Ortho dichlorobenzene. Or you can write what? O dichloro benzene. Is this clear? Yes or no? Please tell me. Now let us use some base names. For example, you have OH and CH3. Now you will be wondering, sir, what to use? We should use phenol or toluene. So you use phenol. Okay. I will give you the priority order at the end, but here you are going to use what? Phenol. So it will be, the base name will be, base is phenol. So the OH carbon will get 1, and this is second. So the subsequent is methyl. So what you can write, and methyl is in ortho position. So O-methyl phenol. Or if it looks a bit, see what you have to understand is O-methyl phenol is this structure. ठीक है? अब इस structure के बहुत सारे नाम हो सकते हैं. ठीक है? A structure can have different names, but a name will have only one structure. एक नाम से दो structures नहीं बन सकते. For example, this is O-methyl phenol and also it is 2-methyl phenol. So you need to understand that O-methyl phenol is this structure because आपकी सवाल में इस तरह से आ सकता है ना, O-methyl phenol you have to write. चलिए, let's do the third one. अब ये सारे आप कीजिएगा.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
so why isn't the first one p-dichlorobenzene?
Oh, no, my bad. It is P only. मेरी गलती है, sorry. This is para. I don't know why I wrote ortho. This will be p-dichlorobenzene. My bad. We'll use benzoic acid in the sixth case. Right, seventh one. तीन के बाद सीधा 6 कर दिया, 4 होगा, then 5. This you have OH and you have Cl. Okay, so write these three names and let me know once you're done. Send your answer on Zoom chat or WhatsApp, whatever you prefer. Yes. Apsa, very good, correct. Mariam Fatun, let me see your answers. And that will be benzaldehyde, right? The third one, Mariam Fatun. And M-methyl benzoic acid and P-chloro. It will be P-chlorophenol, na? Not P-chlorohydroxy. It will be P-chlorophenol. Mariam Fatun, you got that?
Sir, hydroxy.
No, hydroxy is when you are writing it as a substituent. So you'll have to write P-chlorohydroxybenzene, like that. Okay, so you are using when you write phenol, you're using this as a base name, na? So this is acting as a base. Okay, so this is phenol, and then the substituent is what? Chlorine. Got it? Meta-methyl benzoic acid, meta-bromobenzaldehyde, and P-chlorophenol. Yeah, correct. Correct, Rabia, very good. Madiha, M-bromo, M-methyl, and P-chloro benzoic acid. Madiha, पूरा लिख लीजिए benzoic acid. Okay. Also, Mariam Khatun, methyl is methyl. So I don't know whether you, I mean, I can see that you have written E also like this. Is that a E or it is just how you write things? I don't know. So it is not E, but okay. Methyl spelling is methyl. Okay, Mariam Khatun?
Yes, sir.
No, I could not hear that, the last word. What did you say? I'm not audible now. Okay, so P-chlorophenol, Tarif, looking at your answer, 3-bromobenzaldehyde or M-bromobenzaldehyde or 3-bromobenzaldehyde, M-methyl benzoic, 3-methyl benzoic acid. Yes, very good, correct. Chale. I hope you will not have any problems in this type of naming. Now, moving on, naming of amines, okay. Even though we are going to do this in the chapters of amines, but if you have it here, then it will be easier for you in the amines chapter. Naming of amines and also amides. Okay. So what is amine? Amine, if you have nitrogen, it is attached to any of the carbon atoms, it is amine. And amide is if you have R, C double bond O, and then you have nitrogen, and this nitrogen can be attached to two different things. Okay. So amines, nitrogen attached to anything, carbon or hydrogen, that is going to be amine. And amide is C double bond O, N, and this N is further attached to either hydrogen or carbon atom. So if I take an example, let us suppose you have something like this. You have CH3, CH2, NH2. Then you don't have any problem. You will just write this is amine. So amine will be the functional group. There is no double bond or triple bond. So AN, and the parent is 2 carbons, so it will be eth, right? So you can write ethane amine, or rather ethane 1 amine if you want to write the number also, ethane 1 amine. Okay, but let us suppose you have something like this: CH3, CH2, NH, and CH3. So here the functional group is still amine. Unsaturation is AN. And then the parent carbon chain here, it is also longest carbon chain is here because you don't have any functional group or unsaturation. And the functional group amine, it is attached to both the carbon atoms, right? So we have to look at which is the longest carbon chain. So obviously eth is going to be the longest carbon chain, and we will write parent is eth. Now what is the substituent? So we have done the labeling and identification of all of these things. And what is remaining here? CH3 is remaining. So what do we write for CH3? CH3 is methyl. This is methyl. Now the problem here is methyl is not attached to the parent carbon chain so that we can number it and we can write, okay, it is in the first carbon, second carbon, third carbon. Rather, it is attached on what? Tell me. CH3 is attached on nitrogen, guys. Can you see that? Yes or no? Please tell me. CH3 is attached on nitrogen, right? So what we are going to write? We are going to write N-methyl. So for this, the name becomes N-methyl. Ethane 1 amine. Is this clear? Yes or no? Please tell me, guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let us suppose you have something like this. Nitrogen, and here you have two CH3s attached. So here everything is same. Functional group is amine. Unsaturation is AN. And then the parent carbon chain is also, here we have 3 carbon atoms, so it will be prop. Substituent is what? Here you have 2 methyl groups, it will be dimethyl. Now, where is the first methyl group? It is in the N. Second one is also in N. So it will become what? N comma N. Dimethyl. Propane monoamine. All of you got this? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about others? Hafsa, Madiha, Mariam Khatun, Rabia, and Saad. All of you got this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, so today's homework will be that you are going to practice all the benzene names, and also anything from the amine chapter, you can practice it. Okay. So amines and benzene will be the homework. You can download the same nomenclature of amines, and you can look at the nomenclature of alcohol, phenols, ethers also. You can look at alcohol, benzyl, aldehyde, ketones, and carboxylic acid, amines, alkane, halorine. In all of these, you can get the structure that is having benzene ring, and you can name them. Then again, what you can add also the amines chapter and the naming of amines. Now let us look at amide. I mean, you will not see amide a lot. You won't have to name amides a lot, but still, it's good if you have a bit of familiarity that how they are going to be named. So let us suppose you have something like this. Double bond. I have here NH, and then this nitrogen is further attached to CH3. And I have a double bond, let us suppose here. So the functional group is here what? C double bond O. And whenever you have C double bond O, you have to focus there and look right and left. So on the right, we have just carbon atoms, so no worries. And in the left side, we have carbon atom. In the right side, we have nitrogen. So this part here, it will become what? This part here. This is the functional group amide. So I will write for functional group amide. The parent carbon chain. So parent carbon chain will be which one? The one which is having this carbonyl carbon. Okay, no matter what is attached to the NH3, it is not going to be the parent. The parent will be, where is the functional group starting from? It is starting from here. So you will take this as function. Sorry, unsaturation. My bad, guys. Unsaturation will be En, because we have a double bond, and the parent will be starting from which carbon? This carbon atom. Okay, so parent will be 1, 2, 3, and 4 carbon atoms. So 4 ke liye kya likhte hain hum log? Bute likhte hain. We write bute for 4. Now we have named everything, right? You have seen the functional group. You have also named the. We have also identified the parent carbon chain. This is my parent carbon chain, right? We have also done the everything. We have also identified the unsaturation. Now what is left here? We have left with CH3. And what do we write for CH3? We write methyl. As you will see, methyl is not attached. Methyl is not attached to any of the parent carbon chains, right? It is not attached to parent carbon chain. Rather, it is attached to nitrogen. So we write N-methyl. And the name will become N-methyl. Bute. Now we will number it 1, because numbering starts from the parent carbon chain. Sorry, numbering starts from the functional group. 2, 3, and 4. So bute, and this is going to get 3. This is going to get 1. So bute 3En 1 amide. All of you got this? Yes or no? Please tell me. Hafsa, Madiha, Mariam, Rabia, and Saad.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Please write this down. So one more thing, and no matter if you get the reminder, if you don't get the reminder, the class will be always at 12:30. Okay. So your complete vacations, you have to just check. No, I mean not complete vacations. Abhi to 12th standard chal raha hai, then I will have to take some extra classes for 11th standard. So for 12th standard at least, you will have जब तक आपका haloalkane halorine इस series में complete नहीं हो जाता. We are done with nomenclature today. Tomorrow we'll start with haloalkane halorine. So once haloalkane halorine is done, then this series will stop. Otherwise, we are going to have lectures daily at 12:30 Indian time, and it is 10 a.m. KSA time. Except for Fridays. Fridays you will not be having classes. Otherwise, on the every other day of week, you will have classes. Okay. Except Friday, every day you will have classes at 12:30 IST and 10 a.m. KSA. Okay. All of you done? Yes, please tell me. Yeah, everyone done? Yes. Okay. Now let us see some cases. First case जो आपको यहाँ पे देखने को मिलेगा, when benzene acts as a substituent. When benzene ring is substituent. Okay. So for example, if you have something like this, and here you have OH. So I will start naming as, I mean, very simply, okay. So ऐसा नहीं कि आप benzene ring देख के बिल्कुल उछल जाइएगा. अगर benzene में, if you have something attached directly to benzene and that is a functional group, then you will consider benzene. Otherwise, you will see functional group क्या है? Functional group is OH. For OH, what do we write? We write all, है ना? And then what is unsaturation? There is no unsaturation, so AN. What will be the parent? So parent should have the functional group. So this will be our parent. 3 carbon atoms. So 3 carbon atoms is going, this is just a bond, okay? It's not a carbon atom. Parent is going to be what? 1, 2, 3, prop. And what is remaining now? We have already done the identification of OH also. अब क्या बच गया? सिर्फ बच गया this benzene ring. Okay. So this benzene ring, when it is acting as a substituent, we call it phenyl. Not benzyl. Benzyl is something very different. Okay, phenyl. Okay, so what will now phenyl? अब numbering कर लेते हैं. So numbering के लिए क्या करेंगे? यहाँ से start करेंगे. 1, 2, 3. Other way of numbering could be 1, OH in the 2 and 3. So I can see functional group is getting second position in both the numbering cases. Either it is blue or white, but then functional group cannot decide the numbering now because functional group is getting the same second number in both the cases. So what is going to decide? Phenyl is going to decide. So यहाँ पे देखिए phenyl को कौन सा कम मिल रहा है, कब कम मिल रहा है. So it is getting less number in the white case. So I will take 1 phenyl. It will be 1 phenyl. Propane, and this is in the second carbon. Propane. Oh, propane. 2 all. All of you got this? Yes or no? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. एक और यूनिक केस आता है आपके पास when you have this is for benzene ring. Okay, when it is attached like this, it is known as phenyl. ठीक है. Another thing is that they can also give you condensed structure. So if you have something attached to benzene ring like this, then it is what? It is C6H5. And if there are 2 groups attached on benzene anywhere, I mean it can be ortho, meta or para, anywhere. Okay, so I'm just writing. एक चीज होती है, पता नहीं आप लोगों ने पहली बार देखा होगा. but if you have attached something, some group there, and you want to attach another group, and you don't have to specify the position, you don't want to specify which position, then we show it like this. Okay. All of you got this as well. This looks weird, but again, all of you got this. If you have two substituents here, one substituent here, and the other substituent can be anywhere else. All of you got this as well, please tell me.
Yes, sir.
इसका ये मतलब नहीं होता कि यहाँ बीच में से अटैचमेंट है. ओके, just a second, Chavez, I will tell you. Okay, so this is going to be C6H4. Oops, sorry. Okay, you got this C6H4 when you have two substituents. Chavez, you are asking. Chavez, can you please turn your mic on? Yes, your question is, sir, in this command, why did we start numbering from benzene? So we have identified the parent chain. So either we can name 1, 2, 3, or we can write 1, 2, 3, correct?
Yes.
Now tell me, what is going to decide the numbering? Numbering, first of all, decided by functional group. पहले किसे decide होता है? Functional group. So tell me, functional group is getting the same numbers, right? In both the cases.
Yes.
So functional group cannot decide. We don't have double bond. We don't have triple bond. So what is going to decide now? Substituent. Now tell me, in which of the numbering substituent is getting lesser number?
Benzene.
जोर से बोली शावेश, आवाज ही नहीं आ रही है.
From benzene ring.
From benzene. Got this? Yes or no? Please tell me.
Yes, yes.
ठीक. Okay. So write homework. IUPAC naming of benzene and derivatives, and IUPAC naming of amines. Okay, so these are the two homework that you have to do. IUPAC naming of benzene and derivatives that you can get from every chapters. Haloalkene se mil jayega aapko. You can get it from alcohol, aldehyde, ketones, carboxylic acid, and also amines. You will just download the nomenclature part of these chapters and then just look at those questions. Okay, and do them. And from tomorrow, we'll start haloalkene and haloarine. No, not tomorrow, alkyl, haloarine. Tomorrow थोड़ा सा हम लोग कल ना थोड़ा रेजोनेंस वगैरह कर लेंगे, ठीक है? We'll do resonance tomorrow. Resonance and carbocation.